Hello and welcome to Old Lady Plays. I'm Kate, the old lady, and this is the Rambler, episode 20, 7 days. This is a reference to the fact that we've got a couple of months off. And it is also a reference, of course, to the famous speech by Abraham Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address, during the Civil War, the American Civil War, where he began saying 7 years ago, when he was referring to the American Revolution, I think. Yeah, that would work. I think it was the Revolution. I don't remember the actual speech. Anyway, good enough. 7 days, because this is going to be an end-of-season/transfer window episode. Unfortunately, no games today, but we'll try not to make it too long and too waffly. Let's start with getting over to the game so that I can actually manipulate it. Hooray! Well, we would like to see who won the cup. I mean, that's the key, isn't it? Let's see who won the cup. MLS Cup. Thank you very much. As you'll notice, the LA Galaxy won it over New York City, and what a game it was. I actually attended. Because why not? And because it confuses the press, and that's always fun too. New York leapt into an early lead, 25 minutes in. Just on halftime, Kiri Shelton managed to get himself a goal, 2-0 for New York, and it was looking like serious trouble. And look who came back right after the half. Gassi Zardes comes up with one, and 15 minutes later, he grabs another. Tie game, we go to injury time, and in injury time, Jonathan Dos Santos gets a penalty in the 93rd minute to take the game. How's that for a finish? Just amazing. Congratulations to the Galaxy, completely well-deserved. I have no problem with that result. I think it worked out well. So, that's that. Right, Aaron Bushway, our winger, here he is, was good enough to receive Rookie of the Year. Hooray! So yeah, he was shortlisted for it, and then he won it. And that was just brilliant, because he was very much worth it. He had a fantastic year last year. I mean, this guy is the guy that I picked up in the super draft, okay? I picked him up with the second pick of the draft, which I traded away a couple of our picks for. Now, the people have been bitching about that trade for a year, but they seem to not have connected the fact that I made that trade for specifically to get this guy, and that I did so, and we got out of him almost a 7, but 11 goals and 8 assists. That's brilliant from a winger in his first year. And he actually grabbed another goal and a couple of assists, as I recall, in the cup. No, 1-1. He's fantastic. He's a big game player. Anyway, I can't say too much about this kid. He's really great. I did come in 3rd for Coach of the Year. That was a nice little touch. Dawan is mad at me, and I don't know how to fix it. Well, now he's injured, but he's mad at me because here we are. He wanted I promised him apparently that he would play where he's his favorite place, which excuse me, now ball-winning midfielder has fallen off a little bit, but if I put him on ball-winning midfielder, it comes up as green when I play it, fully green. So I've been thinking that I've been playing him in his favorite position, not realizing he wanted Segundo Volante, and I can't seem to find Segundo Volante. Alright, I've tried this. Here. Anybody see Segundo Volante there? Because I sure don't. I don't know. I just don't know what to do. I mean, I can't give him a role I can't access for whatever reason. There's no scroll bars here or anything. It's just not there. I don't know why. So I'm not sure how to fix the fact that he's not very happy with me. The good news is he's not unhappy to the extent that he's making it a deal, but we'll see. All I can do is just keep playing him as much as I can and in as good a position as I can, and hope that he enjoys it, because I don't seem to be able to fix that. I don't know why. We went into this off season, let's look at transfers, with some needs, because we had a need for a striker for a start, because Kei Kamara was let go. His contract ran out and I let him go. He has been replaced by Neil Maupay, possibly Maupay, I'm not sure, he's French. He is a very serviceable striker, and I think that he's going to be very useful for us. Great work rate, determination, his off the ball, his teamwork, pace, acceleration, everything sort of 13 or 12, maybe a few 14s here and there. Composure is good, concentration is good, and he's got just enough aggression to be useful. Anticipation is good, his technique, his passing, his vision. It's all 12s, 13s, 14s. So in this league, that's a good player. So I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to get him. We got 6 million. Oh, that's right. Because the big news is Robert Kraft sold the club. And our owner now is Esival Miguel da Silva Martins, who is, I presume, Brazilian or something. But, and he jabbed a whole whackload of money into the club. Look at this. We went from 5 million here up to, 25 million up here. It was just crazy. He dumped like 20 million into the club, which has been obviously brilliant, because it's this spike is just it's just brilliant, because he gave us a transfer budget and a huge wage budget. I mean, he gave us originally an 8 million transfer budget and something like a $25 million wage budget, and we're spending 5. All right, and we have a salary cap. We can't exactly go out and spend, 20 million on a player, even though he'll only count 375,000 against the salary cap, because we are at the salary cap. So I transferred a bunch of the of the budget over into the transfer budget, and we dropped 6 million on Maupay. Maupay. I'm going to say Maupay. We'll just leave it at that. Maupay. And so that was a big change. That we got a great new chairman who dumped in a whole bunch of money and made it available, and suddenly the club is in great shape, and they are enjoying what I'm doing. They're happy with my work. So that's really good. Other needs we have, we still need a goalkeeper. We still are relying on, where are they? Cropper and Knighton. Now, Knighton did well enough for us last year. There he is, Cropper and Knighton. And, Knighton did well enough for us last year. He is 33, so he's getting on a little bit. He's not bad for a goalkeeper, but as a sweeper keeper, which is how he likes to play, he's losing his pace and his acceleration and his balance. And that's a problem, because you can't really play as a sweeper keeper if you're slow. Also, his agility is going down, which is another problem for a sweeper keeper. So, and I actually enjoy playing with sweeper keeper. It's how I like to play when I was playing keeper, so I enjoy actually watching somebody play that way. So I like to find another one. We've got, so that's kind of a problem. I really would like to be able to get another one. We have arranged to transfer. This is also important. Where is he? Claude Dielna. I've arranged a transfer. He's going to Le Havre. But unfortunately, he's not going till July. So, because that's when their transfer window opens. So my plan is to replace him with an international designated player goalkeeper. And I've got my eye on one. Joe Hart is possibly available and apparently interested. So that might be somewhere where I can dump that extra wage money. But I have to wait until he's gone because I need the salary cap room for the designated player. I've actually got an extra designated player spot at the moment because I'm only playing with two, Kouassi and Mope is using a young designated player spot. So he's not even really part of that issue. So that's kind of interesting. Ray Gaddis, that was the other player we got in. I went and got myself a fullback, thinking that when I got him, he was just going to be a good backup, right? He's a decent enough looking player. He's got some great pace. I like that in a fullback. He's not really great at crossing, but he can play his defensive role, and he's a good team player, good work rate. He'll do fine as a backup. I'm not worried about that. He was playing for Minnesota before, and I think he did okay. 6.82, there you go. Before that, Philadelphia 6.68. He's not really a frontline player, but I think he can do a job as a backup. And then we got to waiver day, which is the day where we have to choose who gets kept and who doesn't get kept, and we have to register the team and so on and so on. And what happened was we had to submit our roster, and I had to unregister because of the salary cap. Dielna was already unregistered because he's transferring, but I had to unregister Chris Tierney on the left and London Woodbury on the right because I literally couldn't afford to get rid of anybody else that I could that would have an impact on the salary cap. I used up my general allocation money buying down somebody's value, and that helped, but I still ended up having to waive both of these guys, so they're gone. And Gaddis is now our frontline left back, and Oliver Stahl, who's been bitching since we drafted him about not getting to play, will now get to play. He's an okay center back, but I don't need him as a center back. I need him as a left back, and he's not really a very good left back. He's not very pacey. He can't cross to save his life, and so on. So that's a bit of a problem. We did pick up a couple of guys on drafts of various kinds. We picked up Fernando Henrique in the super draft. He's an okay attacking midfielder. I mean, I don't really expect much out of him. And Paul Flores, a young center back who actually looks like he could fill in occasionally. I don't think I'd want to necessarily trust him for, all the time, but I think that he'll be able to fill in when we need him to. And then in the waiver draft, we actually grabbed a couple of guys because they were young and we had them on reserve contracts, which means they don't count against the salary cap. Hooray! This guy looks like I'll be able to get a bit of value out of him. His passing and vision could be better, but at least his first touch is reliable, and if I keep him on short passing, he might be able to make use out of him. And Jaime Villarreal, a striker, American. He could be Jamie, I'm not sure. But he looks like he's not bad, and he's got a little upside. He is already 23, so he's not going to get much better. But he might get enough better to be, a fill-in when we need it. So, as you saw, Joshua Smith went out when his contract ended. He just wasn't good enough as a back. He had positioning and he could jump and head and had pace, but that's all he had, and he couldn't even mark or tackle particularly well, so not very useful. London Woodbury had been very useful as a backup. I had used him quite a bit over the time, mostly as a sub, occasionally as a backup. Chris Tierney had been our number one but left back, and as you can see, he's reasonably good at it. Good crosser of the ball, takes corners, takes free kicks. he was a good player, absolutely, but I needed the space, and he's 33, and I hoped that nobody would take him in the draft and that I would get him back, but that doesn't work that way. So they moved on. I don't know where they are now. He's still available on a free transfer, and so is Woodbury. I don't suppose they'd be very inclined to re-sign with me. And I couldn't re-sign them anyway because it would cost me against the stupid bloody salary cap. Oh, it's so frustrating doing the things in this league. What else do I have here? I have notes about this, of course. Our expectations this term, considering what we achieved last year, our expectations are remarkably simple. We have reached the conference semi-final of the MLS, which we did just through qualification last year. We didn't even have to win a game to get there. The Supporters' Shield top half. I mean, holy crap, that's easy. And this one's a little bit harder. Reach the quarterfinal of the Open Cup. We'll do our best. That's a little trickier. It depends on who you get and things like that. But because who did we get last year? I know we got somebody that was where? Marhunt, right, New York City FC. So yeah, we got the MLS Cup finalist in this round, in the 5th round. So we got knocked out. So that was a little bit frustrating. That we managed to draw the sort of, the first or second best team in the league for our cup opponent in the 5th round. That happens. So that's pretty much it for that. Oh, there was a youth intake, which they're calling it, and it's kind of weird because there's only 3 guys in our youth intake. But let me see if I can find them. They are all 16 years old. There we go. We have Daniel Meeks, who is an interesting looking goalkeeper. Reflexes 14, agility 14 already at 16, and all of his goalkeeping stats, handling one-on-one, aerial reach, command, communication, are all at 10 or better. At 16 years old, this kid's going to be something. Now, the only problem is he's unambitious, so I've got to get him tutored by somebody with a little bit more determination and get him interested in becoming as good as I think he can be. Jeff Cornwell, a reasonably good center back already. He's again, all of his center back skills are 10 or better at 16. His decision making is already 13. I'm impressed with this kid. Again, though, he's unambitious, so again we're going to have to tutor him up. Tom Bueno, our third one, is again, he's got 10s or better in many of the places you'd want him. His passing is 16, his determination 18 this time. This kid's driven. So I don't think we'll have any trouble getting him trained up to be as good as he can be. So we've got a kind of a little golden generation going on there in terms of it's a very small intake. We only had the 3 players, but all 3 of them are brilliant, promising players. So I'm really, really hopeful that that we can get. How do I go about getting this kid tutored? I wonder. Oh, I wonder if I can tutor him because he's over at the academy. Oh, poop. I bet you I can't tutor him. That's annoying. Oh, well. Anyway. So, we still need a backup central defender. And I still need that top-class goalkeeper that I really want to tighten up our defense and give us a chance at becoming champions, because we were the top scorers last year, or second top, very close to the top certainly, but we also gave up almost as many goals as the worst team in the league. So we have to tighten up our defense, And if we do, we're going to turn into a really good team. If we can tighten up our defense while keeping the offense good, we're going to turn into a really good team. And I think that part of that comes from having a proper, 4-star goalkeeper instead of Knighton, who's, a 2.5-star goalkeeper at best, and is not going to improve from there, nor is Cropper. They're pretty much identical in terms of their abilities. So I don't see what we're going to do with that. I think that's pretty much it. We're going to come back for, let's get on the right year here. We're going to come back for the opening games of the season, Minnesota and Dallas. And that'll be on Wednesday's episode. And then, let's see if there's something interesting here. Who haven't we played? San Jose. We haven't played San Jose or LA Galaxy. So there you go. We'll play San Jose and LA Galaxy after that. One of the teams that didn't make the playoffs and last year's champions. So that'll be a good setup. I'm going to make notes of that right now. And what did I say? Minnesota, Dallas. I know that one. Come on, Pan. Oh, that's not funny. There we go. Minnesota, Dallas. And what did I say? San Jose, LA Galaxy. Got it. Okay. Let's pop back over to OBS and do the thing with the thing. Like that. And here we are. It's time for me to say goodbye. I want to say thank you for watching my episode. I appreciate it very much. I hope you're having a great day, and take care.